We knew it was coming. Like I said before, we were a little less worried than everybody else.
We kept the line moving, and we hadn't been doing that much. Well, we didn't have a line to move.
These guys are too good of hitters to have it go on for too much longer. I think you're going to see guys start warming up as the weather does too.
It's a positive day for a lot of the hitters, and positive day for Cleveland that it's not that cold.
Carlos Carrasco had the Tigers' number last night, mixing in a dizzying array of pitches, striking out 6 and going the distance for his 9th career complete game as the Indians run their win streak to 4 in a row. And now tonight they go for a 4-game sweep of their Central Division rivals on an absolutely beautiful night, finally, for baseball here in downtown Cleveland. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. We've known ever since Miguel Cabrera arrived in Detroit that if you're going to beat the Tigers, you have to figure out a way to try and contain him. And the Indians have really figured something out because they've been able to do that now going back to last year.
Yeah, they did a great job last year, and they're continuing it this year. Anytime he hits the ball hard, you're going to make a couple of good plays. Kipnis made one, Lindor made one, and they've really taken the sting out of his bat. He's 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, 1 for 12 in this series. So the pitching has been dominant. When you look at it for this series, a .67 ERA. It's unbelievable. The starters have been unbelievable. 41 ERA. Yeah. When you look at this homestand, they've only given up 2 runs in the last 6 games here, and 8 out of the 12 games this year, 2 runs or less. Unbelievable.
Could be a different story tonight. The mercury has risen about mid-70s at game time, and a breeze out of the south that might help carry the ball. So we'll see if the offense finally turns the tables tonight. Trevor Bauer will be on the hill for the Indians. We'll have the showstopper with Alan Jensen when we come back. Plus, we'll check in with Andre Knott, all straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud.
The Tigers here at Progressive Field, the Triumph going for the sweep in this 4-game series, also looking for their 5th straight win overall. As we welcome you back to center field along with Jensen Lewis, I'm Al Pulowski. Let's take you to our showstopper, and that's what happened last night in the American League East. Boston and New York, and this isn't so much about the game as it is what happened during the game in this fight right here.
We know the rivalry, we know what it is, and some tempers boiling over. Al, we're at game 12, right?
Yep.
Well, not one, but 2 bench-clearing brawls last night. We've had some suspensions headed down, and I said it on Indians Live, I'll say it again. You've got to defend teammates. These things are going to happen. If you never played the game, then you wouldn't understand. So I applaud Joe Kelly for what he did. I think probably some tempers boiled over a little too much this early in the season. But heck, you don't want your guys thrown at. They don't want their guys thrown at. It ain't over yet.
Kelly got 6 games. Austin got 5. Those suspensions handed down less than a half an hour ago. So that's where it stands with that for tonight's call of the game. Let's go upstairs. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have that. Gentlemen, take it away.
All right, thank you, Al and Jensen. We're ready to go here tonight. Indians trying to make it 8-5 on the year and finish off a 4-game sweep of the Detroit Tigers. Trevor Bauer will go for the Indians here tonight. He's 0-1. He's pitched well, looking for his first victory of the season. With more on that, we go downstairs to Andre Knott with our Hear Right sounds of the game.
Thank you very much, Matt. For Trevor Bauer, it's been an interesting season so far. He hasn't picked up a win, but he's pitched very well. Very well. Would you say Trevor's pitched well so far? Very well. So tonight's Hear Right sounds of the game, we hear from Trevor on some of the issues with warming up before the game he had in his last start.
I haven't heard anything other than just support from people who feel the same way. I have noticed my elbow's more banged up after this start than it has been in a long time. Not bad, but just taking a little bit longer to recover. It's difficult because I use Mark Pro in between innings to help aid recovery and maintain velo longer into the game and stuff like that. And so if I'm using that, I can't be throwing. But if I'm throwing, then I'm shortening recovery time and increasing volume. So there's just no real good option. It'll be a lot better once the weather warms up and it's easier to get loose and maintain blood flow throughout the game.
That should not be an issue here tonight. Our game time temperature will be 74 degrees.
No kidding.
There is a pretty good wind, 26-mile-an-hour winds out of the south that'll help carry the ball to center and to right center field. So, Rick, if you're a hitter tonight, you're looking to get the ball in the air, whereas the first several games here at home, you didn't want to hit it in the air.
Absolutely. If some of these guys square up the baseball, and I'm talking on both sides, that thing's going to go, and it certainly looks like it's going to go out to right field when it's this warm and the wind is blowing in the direction that it is. But I think the hitters are going to be happy.
Trevor Bauer will lead the Indians out onto the field. Bauer 0-1, 2.08 ERA, but Arch, the Indians starting pitchers lead the majors with 77 1/3 innings logged already.
I'll tell you what, they've been great, man, on this homestand. 2 runs per ball game. That's what their average, or excuse me, 1 run per ball game. 6 runs they've given up. They've been unbelievable. So Trevor Bauer will be our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for today. And Trevor, coming off a very tough loss in his last start, it was a 1-0 loss. But I mean, he pitched great. He gave up a home run, and that was it. But he had 15 batters he retired on 3 pitches or less, and that's why he was able to stick around in that ball game and last for 8 innings. So Trevor 0-2 against the Tigers last year. Let's see if he can get off to a good start this year.
For Ron Gardenhire, the Tigers starting 9 looks like this. Leonis Martin will lead it off. Jamer Candelario bats second. Miguel Cabrera is third. Nick Castellanos, then Victor Martinez. John Hicks gets his first start in the series behind the plate. He'll bat 6th. Jacoby Jones gets the nod in left field, batting 7th. Jose Iglesias will hit 8th, and Dixon Machado batting 9th.
Indians defense brought to you by Ram. Looks like this. Michael Brantley in left, Bradley Zimmer in center, Tyler Naquin in right. It'll be Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis at second, Alonso at first, Roberto Perez behind the plate with Bauer on the mound.
Manny Gonzalez has the plate tonight. Crew chief Jeff Nelson at first, Laz Diaz at second, Andy Fletcher down at third. If you missed it last night, Jordan Zimmerman, Tiger starting pitcher, was hit in the jaw by a line drive off the bat of Jason Kipnis. He checked out fine after the game. They expect him, even though he's going to be pretty sore, they expect him to make his next start. Yeah. However, Ron Gardenhire said after the game, look, our pitching is pretty exhausted, especially the bullpen. So the Tigers today sent Mikey Matuk back to AAA. Gardy said he wanted to see him get his swing ironed out, and they added another pitcher for their bullpen, Chad Bell. So the Tigers are a little short on their bench tonight, but they have an extra arm in the bullpen. Yeah. Bauer winds first pitch in there, a fastball for a strike, and we're underway.
And also good news for Jordan Zimmerman that he's going to make his next start. Really good news after what we saw last night.
Ground ball to first, and Yonder Alonso snatches it, takes it to the bag, one away. Storylines tonight brought to you by Wayside Furniture. A couple of 25-year-old starters on the rise. Trevor Bauer, Michael Fulmer squaring off tonight. And Jose Ramirez starting to heat up at the plate for the Indians. That is a very good sign. Jeimer Candelario. 3 doubles in the game 2 nights ago. Bauer's pitch up high, ball 1. Missed again. 2-0. Bauer delivers it in there for a strike. What the Indians pitching staff has done early in the season is nothing short of incredible. They've allowed 2 runs or less in 8 of their 12 games this year, but more importantly, 1 run or less in 5 consecutive games. And that equals a franchise record. It has never happened in 6 in a row.
They have been here.
I mean, think about that, Arch. 1 run or less, 5 straight games, and one of those was a 1-0 loss. That was the game that started the streak. Lost to the Royals 1-0. Then they beat the Royals 3-1, and of course they've beaten Detroit 2-0, 2-1, 5-1. So the pitching,
some kind of roll,
has been incredible.
Yes, it has. That's the man who'll be on the mound tomorrow to open the series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Mike Clevenger.
Now the 2-2. Missed up high, full count.
And what did we say? It's going to be 70s again tomorrow, and a beautiful
sunshine.
Weather. Nice Marcus Stroman on the mound for the Blue Jays. It'll be a great day to come to the ballpark.
Payoff pitch, fouled right back. Back to a 7 o'clock game time tomorrow night. So if you're downtown or if you're close, come on down and check out what is real baseball weather finally.
I'm sort of getting used to the 6 o'clock starts, to be honest with you.
Now the 3-2. Out of play to the left. Candelario has seen 8 pitches from Bauer. Trevor, 7 out of 10 strikes thus far, and the payoff. Swung out and missed. He struck him out with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 2 down.
Take a look at this on our Nissan pitch tracker. Reared back and just threw a good fastball away. Right on the outside edge. Good pitch. Swing and miss. First strikeout for Bauer.
And it brings up Miguel Cabrera.
Bauer in his first 2 starts had 7 strikeouts in each game.
Slow breaking ball, and you don't see Cabrera fooled very often. 0-2.
This is a great curveball. Watch the bite to this one, going straight down, and actually ends up out of the strike zone, but boy, it looked like a strike all the way. Good pitch.
Another curveball, and he got the piece of it to stay alive.
Well, that's the thing I've noticed so far in this 4-game series with Cabrera facing the Indians. He's been maybe a little more aggressive than he has been in the past, and it might be because, you know, of protection that, you know, he doesn't have in the lineup like he used to.
Struck him out looking. Trevor Bauer with a pair of Ks in the first. The Tigers go 1-2-3. The Indians are coming to bat.
Rubber, the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Tigers, 1-1 on the year. He was the Rookie of the Year in 2016, was an All-Star last year, and in his career 2-2 against the Indians. But this guy has very good stuff.
Francisco Lindor ready to lead it off for the Indians. In his last 3 at bats, he has an RBI single and a double. We'll see if maybe that gets him going offensively. One and one after the fastball finds the strike zone.
Well, the offense finally had an inning last night that they were able to put together where they had 6 hits in the inning. Put a big crooked number on the board, 4 runs, and everybody seemed to be a part of that inning. Something to build on.
Lindor smokes one, fouled on the right side, just a little bit out in front of it. Batman's a Tribe fan.
Yes, indeed. Why not? Got himself a souvenir.
Changeup misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Infield, outfield, straight up for Lindor. You know, again, some of those shifts may have as much to do with how a team plans to pitch a guy as opposed to just how he swings the bat. But, you know, we saw Kansas City, you know, shift against Lindor. Detroit plays him more straight up. The 2-2 fouled it off.
I would have to think you're right. It's about how they're going to pitch him. You know, he has that good changeup away. Fulmer does. He's got that slider he could throw in. He's not afraid to use his fastball in and elevate it. He's tried the last 2 times to get him up high. So
And the 2-2. Good at bat for Lindor. He's fighting him off.
Very good at bat.
And Fulmer delivers. Lindor sends one high in the air, deep to left. Jones is back, looking up, gone to the bleachers. And the Indians strike first. Lindor's first home run of the year. An opposite field blast.
That might have been an out a few days ago with that weather. But you see what happened. We told you the ball's going to have a different flight pattern tonight. He got that one up and he smoked it into left center or left field, really. And that thing took off. So Lindor gets a home run. What an at bat. Fouled off about 3 tough pitches and stayed on the baseball. And Frankie will get his first home run bottom half of the first inning. And look where that lands. That's a pretty good poke.
And the trend continues. The Indians score first. Again, they've been on the board first against Detroit in every game in the series.
That's a good sign just for those hitters to see that a ball can carry that way, the other way.
Yeah.
Because they have hit a lot of balls opposite field, both righties and lefties, that went nowhere the first week of this homestand.
Now the 1-1. Jason Kipnis comes to mind. That opposite field shot to left field. It just kind of died out there. Still a heck of a play.
He finally got one last night in his last at bat, a double to left field, straightaway left. Short hopped the wall.
Pokes this one to right center field, and that's going to get down and one hop the fence. He's on his way to second base. He's going to keep rolling. No, he pokes on the brakes just as he got right on top of the bag. He decided to hold up. So it's a double for Kipnis.
Well, look at that. That's a good sign. 2 hitters, and both of them hit the ball to the track. One hit it over and out of into the seats. Remember, these 2 guys last night against Zimmerman hit the ball right on the nose both times. So Kip, second straight at bat with a double. His last at bat in the 7th inning, he hit a double.
You said Fulmer's a guy not afraid to pitch inside. He tried to go in there, maybe he didn't get it in enough, but Kipnis was waiting for it. Now Jose Ramirez. Boom, but that's foul, way out in front of it. Ramirez 4 for 8 in the series, including a home run. Before he really started to get a few hits, I think you mentioned during the road trip that he was taking a couple of walks, and maybe that's the kind of thing that would get him going. He leads the Indians with 9 walks right now.
Yeah, he started laying off pitches that were a couple inches off the plate on both sides, and forcing the pitcher to come in and get on the plate. And he was seeing it well.
Bouncing ball. Diving stop by Machado, gets up and throws him out. Nice play by the Detroit second baseman. Kipnis goes to third, so a productive out for Jose.
Yeah.
Rest of the Indians lineup looks like this. Michael Brantley will bat cleanup. He's headed to the dish. Then Edwin, Yonder Alonso, Roberto Perez starting behind the plate batting 7th, and Tyler Naquin in right field. Bradley Zimmer batting 9th. And Michael Brantley already 2 for 4 this year with runners in scoring position. And Brantley had an RBI single with Jason Kipnis in scoring position last night. Infield in, chopped to first. Cabrera with a backhanded stop. And Kipnis hesitated. Now they've got him in a rundown. Ball gets away. Kipnis will score. Hicks' throw hit Candelario in the glove. He just didn't catch it. And I don't know if it was too high for him or if he just didn't look it in, but it caromed into left field, and the Indians will take advantage of the miscue.
I thought Kip might be gone, but once he saw Cabrera catch the ball. He stopped, and then he started, and then he hesitated again. So it didn't look like he was going on contact, but they had him in the rundown if Candelario catches this ball. And you can see he might have had too much mustard on him. He didn't get his glove up fast enough. That's going to be an error on Hicks behind the plate. So fielder's choice, no RBI.
And Edwin Encarnacion to the plate, 2-0 Cleveland. Three-man shift left side of the infield, and Edwin fouls it off. 1-1. He's hit back-to-back foul balls, and neither one of them left the batter's box area. Right down into the dirt. Now down on the count, 1-2. Did he go? He did, says home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez. So Edwin, mired in an 0 for 17 slump, strikes out for out number 2.
Well, he did go, no question about it. Now let's check out the Tigers defense for you. Jones, Martin, and Castellanos in the outfield. And on the infield, it's going to be Candelario, Iglesias, Machado, Cabrera, and Hicks.
Yonder Alonso has reached safely in his last 3 plate appearances. Tops one towards short. Iglesias has time to throw him out, and the inning is over. Francisco Lindor, with his 4th career leadoff homer, sparks the drive tonight with a 406-foot blast. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
At home or on the go with MLB TV. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on all your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply.
2-0 Cleveland, 2nd inning. And Nick Castellanos to lead off for Detroit. Trevor Bauer gets ahead with a low fastball at the bottom of the zone for a strike. hook just a tad high. The Tigers have probably seen just about all the Indians pitching that they would like to see for the rest of the year, because going back to last season, talk about the 10-game winning streak that the Indians have over the Tigers. Detroit has not scored more than 3 runs in any of those 10 games.
I bet you're right, and that's a tough battle.
Right to Lindor. What a backhanded pick.
Soft hands.
And a scoop at first by Alonso. 1 down.
Great hands on the backhanded side. He just, watch how smooth he just lets that backhand come softly in and go with it. Stay right there. Get the strong throw. Nice play. That's a lot tougher play than what he just made that look like.
Yeah, it looks easy in
like
slow motion
easy,
too.
I'm telling you, that's tough. And he was nice, and his so slow. He slowed everything down there.
Victor Martinez, 1 for 8 in the series. And Lindor with a diving effort, but it's just beyond his reach.
Boy, I thought he was going to get to that as well. That ball was hit very hard off the bat of Martinez. Hit that line drive, and I mean, he took 1-2 steps and he's diving, and I thought he was going to track it. He had a perfect beat on it, but that ball was just hit too hard.
If he'd have caught that, there might have been a revolt from the Tigers dugout. He's already made about 4 or 5 spectacular plays in this series.
Yes, he has. A few of them against Cabrera.
John Hicks made an opening day roster in the big leagues for the first time this year. Sends a high fly ball to center field. Bradley Zimmer. And there are 2 down. Stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Not only have the Indians shut down Detroit's offense, but look what the Indians have done, almost 6 runs a game.
Yeah, it's almost like the Tigers feel like they've got to really hold that offense down, because they know they're not going to score many against the Indians. As you mentioned, in that 10-game streak, they've never scored more than 3.
Jacoby Jones looks at a slow curveball for ball 1.
And the Tigers, since the start of 2016, coming into Progressive Field, are just 5-16.
Well, there was quite a number of years there when those tables were turned the other direction. So it's nice to see the Indians.
Well, it's funny because I was walking out last night after the game, and I was talking to one of the fans, and he was a Detroit Tiger fan. He says, "Man, you guys are wearing us out." I said, "Yeah, just remember a couple of years ago, you wore out the Indians for quite some time. I think they won, what, 4 games all year out of the 19 or something like that." And he said, "Yeah, that's true."
This is a really close pitch. Bauer, that looks like a strike all the way, but not called.
Well, that is a strike.
So it's a walk with 2 down to Jones, and it brings up Jose Iglesias. On one hand, you'd say, well, this is the perfect guy you want to see in this situation, because he's 0 for his last 14 and just 2 for 32 to start the year. But on the other hand, the baseball gods have a way of.
Well, this guy's a free swinger. You know, he'll swing at a lot of pitches, and he swung at one last night. He missed by about a foot and a half, and he's not a very aggressive hitter, so sometimes you don't have to throw him strikes. He'll get himself out, and he may be going through one of those stretches.
There's a good curveball in there for strike 1. Look at that, 5 for 9 against Bauer.
See, when you go through slumps like he's going through now, every once in a while when you're an everyday player, you're going to get a guy that you have success against. And you got to feel good about yourself going up to the plate saying, this is the day I'm going to do it.
The 0-1. In tight, got him. And the bases are loaded.
Well, it's a fastball, has some movement coming in. It just grazed him. Yeah, it did. Just grazed him off the. I don't know if it was the hand or the forearm or the wrist, but it goes off the glove of Perez. So now with 2 outs, after 2 outs, they have the bases loaded.
And Dixon Machado, the batter, hitless in the series in 7 trips to the plate. And it's a ball outside. That curveball finds the zone. 1-1. Trevor Bauer went 5 innings his first time out, 8 in his second start. The Indians starting pitchers, not only do they lead the majors in innings pitched, but they're averaging better than 6 1/3 innings per start. That's also best in the bigs. Second only to the Red Sox in starters earned run average. In the hole, cut off by Ramirez, goes to second for the inning-ending force. The Tigers leave them loaded. 2-0 Cleveland, middle of the second. Tickets are available only online at Indians.com/district ticket. Your first drink is on the house. $15. Great deal. Grab your friends. Come on down. In fact, come on down tomorrow night. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, you might as well. Why not? Enjoy it.
Friday night, let's rock out on a weekend in Cleveland. Here we go. Roberto Perez leads off. Takes ball 1.
Speaking of, it's the rock and roll weekend down at the Hall of Fame, so it can be a really nice weekend.
1-0 pitch. Dire Straits, the Cars.
Bon Jovi?
Yeah, Bon Jovi. The 2-0. Roberto shoots it into right field. And he's 3 for 3 in the series. Injury report tonight brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. And Jordan Zimmerman, who got knocked out of the game last night on that line drive, is expected to make his next start. That's terrific news for him in Detroit. And Elvis Andrus hit by a pitch, has a fractured right elbow, and he'll go on the DL for the first time. And he's like the Rangers Iron Man.
Yes, he is. I'll tell you what, that's impressive right there. Been playing for a while.
Here is Tyler Naquin.
We'll have to find somebody to replace him at short. Who's that, Profar, you think, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be my guess. That would be my guess. We'll see.
Fulmer's 0-1. Naquin bangs it into right field. That's a base hit, and Roberto can go to third. So Indians at the corners with nobody out here in the second inning. Roberto and Tyler with back-to-back solid base hits in the right field.
I'll tell you, this offense swinging it tonight. That first time through, already 4 for 8. That first time through, he gets a ball down in the zone. He finds the hole between first and third, and it's behind Perez, so that enables him to go to third base. As Castellanos, you see, he's got to run all the way over to pick it up. No problem to get him to third, so they're right back in scoring opportunities. They're back in business.
And Bradley Zimmer, 2 for 6 with a home run in the series. Missed in off the plate, ball 1. Who's happier than Ty Van Berkelio right now? The way they swung the bats last night and the way they come out swinging here this evening.
You know, but when Andre's been talking to Ty and he's been talking, he says, we know it's just a matter of time. These guys keep swinging. We got to keep them in a positive frame of mind. And, you know, they see results. And last night was the first time they saw some results. First time they had 10 hits. And you see how relaxed they look now? It looks like it's free and easy right now, doesn't it?
Right. And as you said, that's what eventually, though, as a player, you have to see the results.
Yes, you do.
People can keep telling you you're all right, but eventually you got to see some hits.
I totally agree.
Down and in, he takes 2-1.
And playing off of that, the one thing Ty also said is he's going to take a picture with his cell phone of the scoreboard right now. He wants to take a picture
with all the averages.
Yeah, and then he says he wants to show it to him in July and August. He goes, and then they'll believe me that if you keep doing the right thing. He goes, because these numbers aren't going to be that way in July.
Well, there you go. It could be a learning tool for him. Not often do you see a whole team struggle.
Well, Andre, remember the other night when we looked up there was 1 hitter on that board that was at 200 or above. Already now there's 4.
Right. Well, Dan Otero, I shouldn't have said his name, but Dan Otero said to me yesterday, we always make deals before the game. He goes, after this game, we're going to have 2 guys over 200. Then tonight he goes, I think we're going to get up to 5. So they're all aware of it. Put it that way. They all know where the batting average is.
Well, you can't hide from it. It's everywhere, isn't it?
Guy up there told us not to look the other day.
That's right.
Don't look.
Even though he looks at it for 9 innings every night.
I can't see that far. My eyes are bad.
You are old. We know. You're old.
A little blurry out there. Well, right now it's a 3-2 count for Zimmer. Perez at third, Naquin at first. And strike 3 called on a borderline pitch that Zimmer says no, no, no. But the umpire, Manny Gonzalez, called it a strike.
Well, take a look at it on our pitch tracks and you'll see it come back, and he brings it down a little bit. I'm going to have to say I agree there with Zimmer. I think that ball was inside a little bit. You see him looking at that glove, and Hicks brought it down a little bit and made it look a little better, I think, than what it was. But it goes as a strikeout and 1 out now.
Well, here's Francisco Lindor. He homered to the bleachers and left his first time up. And he ropes one into right field. That'll score Perez. Naquin on his way to third. He's on his horse. Sarbaugh's going to wave him home. The relay is over the cutoff man's head. Naquin scores without a play. Lindor drives in a pair. It's 4-0 Cleveland.
Well, I'll tell you what, Frankie, that ball's jumping off his bat again. And he smokes this, and I can see where Mike Sarbaugh is going to be aggressive with Naquin because he had a good jump. It's down in the corner, and remember, Castellanos is normally at third base. He's been playing the outfield for less than a year. There's another throw that misses all the cutoff men, and it scores him easily. So you got to test the arm on him out there. So that'll go as a double, 2 RBIs, and it's a 4-0 Tribe lead.
So Frankie's in scoring position, still only 1 out. And Jason Kipnis, who socked a double up the alley in right center field his first time up, is looking for more. Outside, he missed 2-0. John Adams loving this.
So is that drum.
Fulmer with an off-speed pitch. 2-1.
Well, they have 5 hits. It's the first 2 innings, but the ball's jumping off some of the bats now, isn't it? It's making a nice sound.
And there again, Fulmer really making an effort to pitch in.
Yeah, he knows he's going to have to pitch inside the way these guys are swinging it tonight. He's got to make them aware before it opens up that outside part of the plate with that changeup.
Down and in, and a full count. Fulmer had allowed 1 run in his first 13 innings of work this year. But the Indians have jumped him for 4 runs on 5 hits already. To second base, Machado takes care of Kipnis. 2 down, Lindor to third. Rick, you always said as an outfielder you want to get a 4-seam grip so that you can make an accurate throw. Look at the way Castellanos grabs this ball.
Well, he's got it in the palm right there, and then he hurries. It's hard to tell if he has it on the grip, but I'll tell you what, he missed everybody in sight. It went over the cutoff man. That's the one thing you have to do. Gather yourself, slow it down enough to make sure you get your cutoff and relay guys the ball about chest high. But how he picked it up, it didn't look like he had it gripped very well, did it?
And maybe that's a product of not having a lot of reps out there. He just hurried it. But right now the Indians looking for a 2-out knock from Ramirez to add another run to the board. Oh, what a block that time by Hicks. That ball was in the dirt in front of the plate. Sometimes those are the hardest ones for a catcher because you don't know which way it may bounce.
Well, it looked like it was an off-speed pitch, but he got to the glove, to the protector. Nice job. We've seen that a lot of good work like that in this series. Comes back with a pretty good 2-0 slider that you don't want to swing at.
And Ramirez fouls it off. Fulmer really having to grind his way through the first couple of innings. This next pitch will be his 45th already here tonight. Another good block by Hicks. Ramirez did not chase, and a full count. Thursday night crowd settling in, enjoying some early offense, looking for one more hit. Ramirez sends one high in the air, deep right. Back is Castellanos at the wall. He leaps, it is gone. Jose Ramirez with a 2-out, 2-run homer to make it 6-0 Cleveland. Home run number 3 for Ramirez. And suddenly he is red hot, 5 out of 10 in the series.
Well, he hit that ball very high, and that wind certainly helped that one leave. That thing just kept carrying, and it got over the fence. Castellanos was back there, but I'm not sure how deep it got out. But I'll tell you one thing, that's a home run. And there
kid
you
with the
go.
glove. Swing for the fences and get the leather out there.
Nice play before it hits that cement. There you go.
Had it all the way. Michael Brantley takes a strike. And a bouncer to second base. Dixon Machado throws him out. The top of the order with some fireworks here in the second. Lindor's already driven home 3. Ramirez gets into the act, and it's 6-0 Cleveland. All sorts of messages from his friends after he made a nice catch on that home run ball.
Yes, he did. Time for break out the snacks. We've got our souvenir. Time to eat.
Now Trevor Bauer staked to a 6-run lead, goes to work top of the order here in the third. And Leonis Martin takes a strike. Martin's the one guy in this lineup that has swung the bat well for Detroit here in the early part of the season. He came into tonight's game 7 for 22 on their current road trip.
Well, had 3 hits last night against Carrasco. He was one of the only guys that could do anything. Carlos only gave up 3 hits. He had them all.
Carrasco with his first ever complete game at home.
He was dealing. Yeah, he also had 15 outs on 3 pitches or less. He was throwing about 70% strikes, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire said afterwards, he said he kind of looked a lot like Kluber. And the ball was moving every which direction and just had their hitters back on their heels all night long.
Well, Kluber was the same way.
Slap toward left. And that is going to be a fair ball just inside the line. And Brantley has no play at second. It's a leadoff double for Martin. Ball nearly landed right on the chalk.
Well, he knew it was going to, it's just a matter if it stayed fair. He left the batter's box. He knew it was going to fall and nobody was going to catch it because he didn't hit it all that well. But boy, you love it when they fall, and they fall for hits.
Well, Jamer Candelario, who struck out on a fastball from Bauer his first time up. Whoa. He waved at a pitch that bounced in front of the plate.
That, I think, was had his mind made up that he was going to swing before it even left his hand.
One ball, one strike.
Well, I will say this about Perez. He knows one thing. When he's out there and Bauer's on the mound, he's ready to block anything because he throws a lot of breaking balls in the dirt.
Popped him up, foul ground, playable here for Ramirez. One down. Arcia drive to success shows you that not only are the Indians second to the Red Sox in the American League, but that's also second in all of baseball at 279.
Well, to go along with that ERA on this homestand, pitching staff between Kansas City and Detroit have allowed just 3 for 30 hitting with runners in scoring position. Been very stingy.
Isn't that weird though? You think normally, and again, we're talking about 12 games into the season. Cabrera back off the glove of Bauer. Lindor's there.
Taking another base
throw
hit.
out Miggy, and that's out number 2. Martin moves to third. But normally the National League usually has more teams with, you know, the low ERAs than the American League.
Yeah.
But only one team is under 3 right now, and that's the Dodgers at 293. And again, it's early, and it'll probably all change in another month. But it also shows you how many quality arms there are in the American League. Talking about the Astros, the Indians, the Red Sox. There's some good pitching staffs now. As you said, there are teams that come in here and say, "Ooh, this is not going to be a lot of fun." There's a few teams that are like that now for hitters.
Yeah, you don't want to play the Indians in a 4-game series because your batting average could go south.
2 down, runner at third, Castellanos. He smoked the ball his first time up, but Lindor with a terrific play at short. Pulls it foul.
Good talk, man.
There's Andre down in his territory. I saw he was hiding behind a camera or something down there. He didn't want any part of it.
He knows where to duck.
He sure does. Look at, he's talking. Look at, we still can't hear he's talking.
Talk to anybody to listen.
Look at Baller in the background. He's laughing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Should have had it, Andre.
Here's the 0-2. Threw the bat at it, and it's foul up the first base side. I don't know if he needs a little pine tar.
I think he needs a new bat. That might have went off the end, you know, and I'm not sure it's cupped.
The bat, the on deck, the bat boy had it one bat, but he didn't want that one. Go get me another one. So he brought back 3. Here, you pick.
Well, he had the dark bat that he was using at that one, and he brought out 3 of the the ash finish.
Now Bauer's 0-2 pitch.
Oh boy, good block. There was a big hook that he tried to really throw a good one, and that was about a 58-footer. Way out in front of the plate. You can see how high that thing bounced, and he realized, I got to get tall, man, and get that chest protector up.
Fastball up the gut and through, and the Tigers are on the board. Castellanos with a 2-out RBI single, his 4th run driven in on the year.
Well, he finally got a fastball, and he didn't miss it. He found the hole, and it was, I want to see the location of this fastball. It looks like it was down and out over the plate, but he just stayed on. And I'll tell you, not a bad pitch, but he finally got the fastball. It was all breaking balls, and he finds the hole. So Detroit is on the board now, make it a 6-1 game. 2-out hitting by Castellanos, his 4th ribby.
Victor Martinez singled his first time up. He takes a strike. Lindor has been taking so many hits away from the Tigers. Castellanos finally gets one through and gets the Tigers on the board. Tribe shifting for Victor, and they had that shift on in the 2nd inning, and he had a line drive at Lindor with a diving effort, almost stole a hit away from him. Slow curveball, and it's called a strike. 1-2. That's rocketed deep to right. Back is Naquin. Makes the catch right at the base of the wall. And the inning is over. Tigers get on the board. 6-1 Cleveland, middle of the 3rd. Remind you, if you're enjoying a Miller Lite, to stay tuned later in the game for our Hold True moment. Encarnacion struck out in the first. Left field, right at Jones, one down. Our great clip of the game from last night. Yonder Alonso delivering a 2-run single in the fourth. That broke the log jam loose, and the Indians would go on to score 4 times in the inning on 6 singles as they ran out to a 5-1 win over Detroit. Down low, but he chased after a 1-1. And that's foul. We'll even the count. Dominating within the division is the key to winning the division and getting an opportunity to play in October. And the Indians are off to a good start this year. And if you go back to July 1st of a season ago, they are 36-9 against the division. That's an .800 winning percentage.
Well, we've showed you the numbers, the combination to back that up. Great pitching, and you know their hittings, they're just a hair under 6 runs per ball game. You know, so if you don't give up many and you're scoring 6, there's a really good chance you're going to win most of your ball games, if not all of them.
Fulmer's 2-2. Right back to him. And he made a nice play there.
Yes, he did. Well, you can still get a prorated Tribe season ticket package for the best seats at the best prices. You'll save big over single game prices and get exclusive perks. See Indians.com for more details. Toronto Blue Jays coming in tomorrow night. Going to be nice and warm. Be a nice evening to come on downtown and check out a ball game. Look at that, short sleeves. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that about 4 or 5 days ago?
Not that every one of these people here tonight aren't enjoying the ball game. I think a lot of them are just out here sitting around going, wow, I can't believe we're in Cleveland.
Yeah.
After the last week. The 0-1. Roberto Perez hit a big home run the other night that helped the Indians beat the Tigers 2-1. Home run came in the bottom of the 8th, put the Indians ahead.
Yeah, ended up getting his first hit, first homer. It ended up being a game winner. Comes right back, gets a base hit his first time tonight.
The Indians have 2 catchers that both want to play. Only one can on a nightly basis at least start. Now the 1-2. Hits it hard at the shortstop Iglesias. Indians go in order. And it's 6-1 Cleveland through 3.
wanted to say happy 70th birthday to our guy Glenn. We called him Ditka. We give you a lot of grief, but we wanted to say happy birthday to you. Keep up the great work. I dug deep for a gift for you. Here's a little chocolate chip bar for you. Old man, we appreciate it. And Art says we need a pizza now. Okay, you'll get it. Happy birthday, Glenn.
Oh, man. He's been here for quite a while. Happy birthday, Ditka, or Glenn.
He brought us a pizza last year. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was outstanding.
1 ball, 1 strike. John Hicks leading off for the Tigers here in the 4th inning.
Did you notice how Andre said, Arch said, we want a pizza, bring us a pizza? He didn't ask it for himself.
He's not afraid to drop your name when he needs to.
That's exactly right. The old man is trying to get to the old man.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Hicks. 3 Ks for Trevor Bauer. 1 down here in the 4th.
He's thrown quite a few curveballs tonight already. You can see as it comes out of his hand, you can see that rotation, and very nice break to it. Good location. Gets the strikeout.
And up comes Jacoby Jones, who drew a walk his only time up. Swings at the first pitch. Lindor backhands it. And a throw in the dirt. Alonso couldn't dig it out.
It looked like he was going to bounce it, and he just threw it just a little too far. It really made it a tough hop for Alonso there. Take a peek at it. He made the beautiful stab to catch it. When he comes up, that footwork maybe just a little messed up. A little farther out, it would have been perfect, but it hit right about the cut of the grass. So that'll go as a straight error, or is it a hit and an error? Straight error.
So Jones in scoring position with 1 out for Jose Iglesias. Iglesias hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. He grounds 1-2 Lindor. Perfect feed that time, 2 away.
KeyBank Kids tickets are just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. The seats are located in the family deck here at Progressive Field. Just go to Indians.com.
Dixon Machado with a runner at 3rd and 2 down here in the 4th. Tigers' lone run came last inning on a 2-out RBI hit by Nick Castellanos. They left the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. 2-0. In the air, right center. Naquin makes the catch in right field to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. Middle of the 4th. 6-1 Cleveland. Get an Indian cycling jersey. 100% of the money raised supports cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. So visit velasano.org/Indians for details on joining their team. I'm thinking a bicycle built for two, you and Andre. A tandem bicycle in Velasano.
I don't think
if it's legal, I don't know.
When is it? I'm not sure. Are we going to be here?
Does it say when no date on there yet?
No date on it?
We'll have to go online and look.
Okay.
You want me to be in the front, old man?
Absolutely.
If you ain't the lead dog, the view never changes.
He liked that.
Let's stay away from that.
The 2-0 pitch coming up to Tyler Naquin here, who singled and scored in the second inning. Tell you what, since Lonnie Chisenhall went on the DL, Naquin has come up, or Hayes come back, and he's 3 for 6 with a run batted in. And I think, you know, Rick, he's a guy that he's probably not going to come out and pound his chest or do a lot of that stuff, but I think he's got something to prove.
He certainly does, and now's the time he can prove it. Go out there and, you know, get that playing time and do everything in your power.
The other thing is he feels healthy. He said he didn't want Lonnie to get hurt, but he wants his opportunity. He feels like what he did 2 years ago, he can grow upon that. He can build upon it.
Right.
And he was frustrated last year with the injuries and everything else he dealt with his legs. And he says he's learned to take the pitches that have been pitched to him. He said last year he was not good at that. He was trying to pull off on everything.
Well, the first thing is, for any player, you have to remain healthy. And anytime you have injuries and it comes in back-to-back seasons and you're young and you still have to prove yourself after his first year, you got to build upon that. You got to get better the next year and try and improve every year. So he certainly he does have a lot to prove. And now the opportunity's there because Chisenhall is going to be out, what, between 4 to 6 weeks? Right. So he has that time. He doesn't have to look around, just concentrate on your gig.
Now the payoff pitch up the middle, but it's right there for Machado, but he can't corral it. And it'll be an error on the Tigers' second baseman, and Naquin reaches to start the fourth.
Yeah, it was just a routine ground ball. It'll be the second error for the Tigers tonight. He just sort of stayed back and looked like that right foot might have slid a little bit when he was trying to plant. But it jumps up and it hit off his hand before it hits the glove, and it'll go as an error.
Bradley Zimmer called out on strikes in the second on a pitch that did not look like a strike. It was borderline, but it looked like it was up and in.
I thought it was a little bit in off the plate. Sure did. Catcher sort of brought it down a little bit, Hicks.
And he lines one in the left center field, a base hit. Cut off by Martin, but on his way to third is Naquin. And once again, Indians at the corners with nobody out, just as they started the second inning.
That was a good swing right there by Zimmer. He stayed on it beautifully and going to left center field, and that enables Naquin to get to third. And he took a really wide turn. He was thinking going to second base, because if he doesn't throw to second, Zimmer would be standing up down there. You can see he didn't have a chance at Naquin. So you keep the double play in order as an outfielder, but the Indians with a good start to this fourth after the error.
Francisco Lindor has already driven in 3 tonight with a homer, a double, and he has scored twice. And as you like to say, good hitters, they get a couple, they get greedy, they want more.
Yes, they do. Let's go. He wants another one. Has a homer and led off the bottom of the first, solo jobber, and then a 2-run double.
That hit him? I think
That
it did.
hit something.
Got him on the arm.
Yeah. Either that or I was going to say it was the bat, so it got him on the arm. Maybe an elbow because he looks like he's in a little bit of pain. So he's hit by a pitch. Watch this one come in. Yeah, on the back elbow, that left elbow.
That'll sting a little bit
on
probably.
the inside, sure.
Well, the bases are loaded, nobody out. And pitching coach Rick Anderson going to go out for a chat with Fulmer, left-hander up in the bullpen. That's Chad Bell, just called up today. Chris Bosio, the Tigers pitching coach, we were informed will be out for a couple of weeks now. He was sent home dealing with some health issues. So Rick Anderson will take over in the interim. Anderson had been the bullpen coach for Detroit. Look at Sandy making fun of Frankie. That's great.
Look at Looks like Sandy's going to be the runner and Lindor's going to coach this inning.
Those two both, along with Roberto Perez, really looking forward to the upcoming trip to Puerto Rico. Bases loaded. Jason Kipnis doubled and scored in the first. Nobody out. And the pitch is low, ball one.
Well, they could really put this game out of reach in this inning. Bases loaded, nobody out.
And a base hit into right field. That's going to score Naquin. Zimmer right on his heels. He scores as well. All the way to third goes Lindor, and it's 8-1 Indians. Kipnis has RBIs number 2 and 3 on the young season.
Well, he finds that hole between first and second. I don't know. It looked like it might have been a split right there. It goes down. He hits it on the ground. Fulmer got his ground ball, but look at him. You can see him go to first base. He's a little upset. It found a hole. Drives in 2. And he's going to be done.
This has got to be Ron Gardenhire's worst nightmare come true. Starter doesn't get out of the 4th inning. They did call up an extra bullpen arm for tonight, and that guy's coming into the game. When we come back, the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. Indians 8, Tigers 1 here in the 4th inning. coming on for Detroit. He was just called up in time for tonight's ball game, and they sent Mikey Matuk, outfielder, back to AAA. Bell 6'3", 239 pounds, Tennessee native. These numbers from last year in 28 games at the big league level.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Ron Gardner expected more from his starter today, but somebody's going to have to wear it. And when he says that pitching is going to be a little thin, they got some double headers they're going to have to make up within the next week or so. But this is all part of baseball, man. It happens to every team at some point in time throughout the year.
Upstairs, ball 1 to Jose Ramirez. And that in the right field. Coming in is Castellanos. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Lindor, but he won't head home. He'll hold there. 1 down. Really not deep enough. Michael Brantley coming to the plate. And we'll take a look at our live-in furniture player profile. 110 games he's played against Detroit. He's batted .329. 9-63 with 31 doubles. It would stand the reason that if you can find a team in the division that you can have success against, you get a chance to put up some good numbers because you play them so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Miguel Cabrera against the Indians. Of course, it's not just Cleveland. He does that to a lot of teams.
Yes, he does.
To first, it's foul right in front of the bag.
Yeah, that glove was just to the outside of first base. Michael, a couple of base hits in a ribby last night. Both those hits coming on the first pitch.
Missed outside.
But Michael's always been a hitter, never afraid to hit with 2 strikes. You know, he's down in the count in this at bat 0-2, but he always seems to either claw his way back out in an at bat and not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. That's why he's such a good hitter.
Missed outside, a full count. Chad Bell, a guy that coming out of high school was drafted by the Brewers in the 25th round. He said no thank you. A year later, the Indians made him a 37th round pick. He passed on that as well. Finally, the following year, Texas made him a 14th round pick, and he signed on the dotted line. Popped him up. Third baseman Candelario dropped the ball.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, right in his glove, and it just popped out.
That's another error. That's going to be the 3rd error. My goodness. You know what? I think he got the glove in front of his eyes and he closed it too quickly. Watch him put it up in front of his face and it just bounces right out. He's looking for it. I mean, wow. We've seen this guy make some really good plays in this series too. But a routine pop-up, he just pops out.
And a throw by the catcher that he did not corral in the first inning led to a run for the Tribe. He didn't get charged with the error in that situation, but he didn't look all that smooth trying to make that catch back in inning number 1. So another opportunity for Brantley in the 3-2. Oh, boom! Right field. Castellanos won't get it. It's off the wall. Lindor scores. Kipnis on his way to third. Brantley stands up with an RBI double. A 3-run fourth for Cleveland, and it's now 9-1 Indians.
Yeah, you give Michael an extra swing, and he's going to take advantage of it. So Lindor comes in to score, and I mean, after down in the count, he tried to throw the fastball by him inside. Michael hits a bullet off the wall, and he was going to continue to go. He's going to make Castellanos throw him out, and you see he just gets the ball and gets it to his cutoff man. So it'll be a double. Lindor scores now, second and third, and still just one out, and an intentional walk to Encarnacion.
So Edwin intentionally walked to load the bases. So you get the lefty-lefty matchup and Yonder Alonso.
Yeah, this looks like it's the 4th game of a series that Detroit's playing tonight that, you know, they want to get out of here. This has been a bad game for them, ugly defensively.
Alonso fouls it back.
With their best pitcher on the mound, Indians got to him early.
And it also, to me, Rick, looks like an Indians team that's starting to feel their oats a little bit.
Well, they're starting to get confidence. Yes, exactly right. Well, this would be the second day now. This is really a day where they've been able to swing the bats well. 9 hits already. They got first time yesterday. They got 10 hits in a game this year. So they, you know, they want to pay some people back.
Alonso, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Kipnis at third, Brantley at second, and Encarnacion at first.
6 different guys have scored a run today.
This is what you call a hard hit ball.
Yeah, line drive, 105 off the bat. He was down in the count. Now remember, he should have been out. They dropped the ball. Error on the third baseman. He gave him one more swing, and he made him pay. Can't give a good hitter 4 strikes.
And you know, you pointed it out on the first replay, and when I was looking at it, Brantley wasn't even at first base when Castellanos got the ball, and he still never hesitated.
They're going to run him, and they should run him all year long because he's not an outfielder. You know, or at least he's not comfortable out there. So they got to stay aggressive. Yes, anytime a ball's hit out there, and they know that.
The 2-2. He got him to chase, and Alonso strikes out, 2 down. And Roberto Perez to the plate. He singled into right field and scored in the second, and grounded out in the third, but he hit that ball sharply too. Hit at the shortstop. A couple of good swings from Roberto. Chops this one to short, and that'll end the inning. So the Indians continue to pour it on. Jason Kipnis drives home a pair, and then a miscue allows Michael Brantley a second opportunity. It's 9-1 Indians. Brought to you by the 2018 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. It's a 9-1 Indians lead. Fifth inning. Top of the order for the Tigers.
Well, Bauer threw the lineup 2 times. First time through, he threw 30 pitches. Second time to get him out, 29.
Curveball up the gut and through. And Leonis Martin with his second hit of the night gives him 5 hits in the series.
Yeah, he's continuing to swing the bat well.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 46, Jailer Candelario.
Pulled foul. Mad Dog.
We got to tell our ball boys they better hustle after the ball. He let the Naquin get it. Let's go, boys. Go get it.
Fouled off by Candelario. No balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. Good breaking ball. And that's 4 strikeouts for Bauer.
You know, he's tied him up with some breaking balls. He's stayed inside on him with breaking balls. That's that slider. That new pitch for Trevor. It's not his curveball. That's the slider that he's been working on all offseason. He put it in a really good spot right there to tie him up.
Miguel Cabrera 0 for 2 on the night, called out on strikes in the first inning. Hit one back off of Bauer's glove, went right to Lindor, who threw him out in the third. Up until last year, going into the start of last season, Miguel Cabrera's career average against the Indians was .350. And since the start of last year, coming into tonight, they've held him to a .157.
Wow.
And that's 70 at bats. 2-1. So
pretty good sample size.
Pitching's made adjustments.
Yeah, it sure has.
Figured some things out.
It sure has. Now it's up to him to make adjustments too.
Well, he walks him. And now the Tigers have 2 on with 1 out. Nick Castellanos earlier Had a ground ball, backhanded by Lindor. He threw him out. Castellanos says, all right. Lindor says, no, sir, no. And then Castellanos just got one beyond Lindor. And he says, sorry, call me.
Can't catch everything.
And it was Lindor who gave the phone call signal to Cabrera, remember, the other night when he robbed him of a hit. So they're having some good-natured fun, good competition between the lines. Things don't always have to be ugly brawls like we had last night. A couple of them. You know, the Padres and Rockies got after it, and then the Yankees and Red Sox got after it.
Yeah. This early into the year, I think a lot of people surprised that the tempers are flaring, but they certainly are.
Joe Kelly of the Red Sox got 6 games for throwing and hitting Tyler Austin. Austin got 5 games for charging the mound. I didn't see any suspensions handed down yet for the Padres Rockies. There were 5 ejections as a result of that brawl yesterday.
They're going to have, let's go to the tape. That's what they're going to have to do.
They take a while to sort things out.
Yeah, I'm serious. You know, that's why back in the day, before they had all this TV and video, man, you couldn't suspend guys. It would usually the guys that are charging or somebody else, everybody else. Now, I wasn't a part of it. They would be out there brawling for days.
You'd have an umpire trying to write names down.
Right.
And like, how do you figure out who's who?
You know, that's one thing. Think about it. There's 4 of those umpires trying to control 2 teams that are on the field going after it. That's hard to do.
2-strike pitch. Down low. Well, some of the video we saw too. Fortunately, Aaron Judge, just about the biggest guy on the field. It has to be the biggest guy on the field. He was kind of a peacemaker, trying to keep guys from getting into it. And I was thinking back when Frank Howard was a player. I mean, that would have been like Hondo saying, no, boys, stop.
Oh, he did. One time in Cleveland when he came in, he did. He ran in front of the dugout. At least that's so the story goes. That's enough. And everybody listened.
Okay. Bradley Zimmer makes the catch. 2 down. Frank Howard was what, about 6'6"?
6'8".
6'8".
Yeah, he was 6'8", 300 pounds on a good day when he was dieting.
I'll always remember when you and I went to RFK when the Indians played the Nationals, and they had that seat in the upper deck that was painted a different color that he hit with, and you're looking at that on the field going,
how could one man? Yeah, exactly. He was probably one of the nicest guys and one of the mildest mannered people you know in the game. He was a hitting coach when I played for the Brewers. He was a great guy. Hondo, what a baseball man.
Victor Martinez fouls it right back.
Look out.
Did you ever challenge Frank Howard to a basketball game?
No. He had a record for the tournament rebounds in
Ohio State.
In NCAA. Yeah, at Ohio State. No, but I'll tell you what he used to do. When we'd go to the Kingdome in Seattle when we were playing in there, he would always hit fungos to the outfielders after we were done taking infield practice, and he would try and hit the roof with the fungo ball with his bat, and he could do it.
Really?
Yes, he could.
2 on, 2 out, 0-1 pitch, and down and in. Bauer, 51 out of 75 have been strikes. You know who else used to try and do that? Not even in the same class of physical specimen as a Frank Howard, but Grady Little.
Did he?
When he was coaching for Charlie Manuel, we'd be in the Metrodome, and he'd try to hit him up into the...
Oh, that white netting? Yeah. Well, sure, you try. That's what those guys, you know, some guys back in the day, there were some great fungo hitters.
There's an art to it.
Yes, there is.
1-1 again. Same pitch, but Martinez not biting. Trevor Bauer retired the side in order in the first, struck out a pair. Got into a little trouble in the second with a walk and a hit batter. Loaded the bases, but got out of that. A lot of 2-out RBI hit by Nick Castellanos in the third. And only an error prevented him from a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Now here in the fifth, a leadoff single. 1-out walk to Cabrera. But he's got 2 down. But still a tough hitter at the plate.
Well, when Bauer gets base runners on base, he gets out of that stretch, he slows down a lot. But when you have Victor Martinez in the batter's box, he even slows it down more.
He's about as deliberate a hitter as there is. And takes a strike 2 and 2.
Well, I don't know anybody now that takes more time than him. Either that or I'm forgetting somebody. But
he probably gets some letters from Rob Manfred. And this is part of the thing that they wanted to cut down on. If you don't foul the ball off, don't step out of the box and take all that unnecessary time. That's, at least that was the idea.
Okay, then you're going to have to go tell him to get back in there.
No, the umpires don't want to do it.
Well,
they've got enough to deal with, right? 2-2, swung out and missed. He tied him up. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Watch the location on this pitch from Trevor Bauer. 5 Ks on the night. Astros in a battle for Texas. Then at 7, Mike Trout and the Angels battle the Kansas City Royals. It all happens Saturday on FS1 or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Chad Bell finished the 4th, stays on to pitch the 5th. Indians sent 9 men to the plate in the 4th inning. Bouncing ball to second results in out number 1.
Down to the plate for the Indians, number 4, Bradley Zimmer.
Bradley Zimmer singled and scored last inning. And a line smash into center field by Zimmer. That skip past Iglesias in a hurry.
Almost looked like it deflected off a piece of his glove, to be honest with you. But Zimmer, 2 good at-bats back to back. This thing came off the bat in a hurry. It's a breaking ball. And watch.
I think you're right. He did get a piece of that.
I think it right off the edge of the glove. You can see the spin. The pitcher goes by, but that flew by his glove. And then there it is, 107 off the bat. He did get a little piece of that leather, but that ball was smoked. So Bradley with 2 good at-bats in a row. Staying on the ball, using the big part of the field. That's a nice swing. 10 hits again for the Indians, back-to-back days.
Lindor takes a strike. Led off the game with a home run. His 4th career leadoff homer. Then he had a 2-run double in the 2nd inning. Walked and scored in the 4th. Popped him up. Shallow right. Castellanos in. 2 down. Mid-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. There's the swing that gave the Indians the lead right off the bat. And that was an opposite field jack by Lindor. Then Ramirez hit a 2-run homer just beyond the reach of Castellanos. Jason Kipnis a 2-run single in the 4th as the Indians struck for 3 more to make it now 9-1. By the way, little fantasy camp love tonight.
What's going on?
Bobby Voth, longtime veteran fantasy camper.
Yeah.
Sent me a message. That was his son who caught the home run ball in right field.
Me. Nice catch. Well, you're teaching him well.
Hayden
Bobby.
Voth. Hayden, right. great job. And now Kipnis with a line drive single into center field. Zimmer will stop at second base. So Jason with a 3-hit night. Couple of runs batted in. And one more look at the play by Hayden Voth out there in right field.
Yes, indeed. Nice play.
He does look a little bit like Bobby now, doesn't he, when you look at him? Better looking, but.
If you go back about 40, 50 years.
So Jason Kipnis' night is over. And Eric Gonzalez coming on to run for him. Jose Ramirez taking a called strike. In off the plate. Jose Ramirez with a .473 mark in the last 2 years against Detroit.
That's a little Detroit demolition for you.
There will not be a welcoming committee when we arrive in the Motor City for Ramirez.
No, you're absolutely right. Well, you can see why. He's played very well against them. That'd be like Miguel Cabrera over those times. Indians fans hated him because he smoked them for so long and put up such great numbers. Well, Ramirez is doing the same thing to the Tigers, except he's going to have to do it for a little while longer.
Yeah, to achieve the status of true villain, it takes more than a year or two.
No, yeah, it takes years. Yes, it does. Years of going in and beating him and sending them people home crying because, you know, you hit a home or you drove in a few runs. And that's the true villain when you go in there year after year, 10 years.
3-2 pitch, runners go, and a foul right back. Arch, I was trying to think back. Was it a Danny Salazar start? Pitched so well.
His first start in the big league against Detroit.
Second start. And
yeah,
Miguel
his first
Cabrera
was Toronto. I take that.
hit the home run off of him.
Well, he struck him out the first 3 times.
Yeah, was it like a 1-1 game or what? It was a close game, and
it was the 4th time he tried to throw a high heater by him, and he went straight away central into the trees, and it was like, okay, there you go. It's Miggy time.
Runners go. 3-2 pitch. Had him reaching for it. Iglesias with a nice pick and throws him out. Indians strand a pair. We've played 5. It's 9-1 Cleveland.
The app lets you conveniently purchase, access, and forward your Indians tickets directly to your mobile device. Then have it scanned for entrance to the ballpark. No need to print tickets.
For Detroit here in the 6th inning, John Hicks, Jacoby Jones, Jose Iglesias. Trevor Bauer just under 80 pitches. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Hicks fly to center in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Gonzalez, who ran for Kipnis, stays in at 2nd. Swung on and missed, and that's 6 Ks for Trevor Bauer. And we'll send it over to Al Pawlowski for a game break.
All right, Matt, Rick, the Yankees and Red Sox, they're at it again. Sonny Gray here in the 1st inning hits Hanley Ramirez. He had to leave the game with an injury. However, the Red Sox are getting some revenge. They just scored 4 in the bottom of the 2nd, and the Red Sox lead New York 4-0 at Fenway as we head to the 3rd inning. So it looks like the hitting of batters has continued tonight, guys, at Fenway Park.
Yeah, certainly didn't look intentional.
No, that wasn't intentional. No way. That's Sonny Gray's ball running in on him. I don't think that was intentional whatsoever.
But I'll keep us updated on if there's any further
retaliation
nonsense. Yeah.
You got it.
Jacoby Jones walked in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 4th. Did he go? Yes, he did. Jeff Nelson raising the right hand. That's 7 strikeouts for Trevor Bauer.
So now Bauer has at least 7 strikeouts in all 3 starts this year. 7 in the first one, 7 in the second, and now 7 here. And he did go.
Andre Knott did a great story with Trevor Bauer at the Driveline facility out in Washington. And that's a fly ball out. Boy, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Bauer. And the Indians continue to roll tonight, up 8. We're going to go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, the comeback trail for Michael Brantley is one of those decisions or one of those conversations he's kind of sick of having. But I asked him what's the biggest difference he's had to make. And you look at those shoes he has on. Those are basketball shoes, guys. They're basically high-top basketball shoes that they've turned into cleats. He's wearing them a half size bigger than the normal shoes that he used to wear. And these shoes are helping him play every day and take care of that ankle that he had surgically repaired in the offseason. He says between using that and doing all the other work that he's done, he feels as good as he's felt in really 3 years, and he's just taking it day by day. But he enjoys where this team is at and where he's at. And he even heard people in the offseason kind of question, is he injury prone? He's not ready to throw that out the window. He understands why people think it, and asked if it motivated him. He said no. He goes, I'm not going to let people on the outside motivate me. My motivation is to be with these guys and win a championship with them.
Thank you, Andre. There's a strike called, 2-1.
Well, it would be great to see him in about 140 games this year.
Oh, man, that was a bullet right back through the box. His second hit of the night. And the Indians have their leadoff man aboard. We're going to get a pinch runner as Brandon Geyer will come on now for Brantley.
Well, I'll tell you what, both the hits coming off of Bell on fastballs. One off the right field wall, this one right back up the middle. So Michael ends his night 2 for 4 with an RBI.
And Edwin Encarnacion to the plate. He is 0 for 2. Intentionally walked his last time up.
For the Indians at first base, running for Brantley is number 6, Brandon Geyer.
And taking that time, it's a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here in the bottom of the 6th with the Indians up 9-1. 2 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the fourth. Checked on a ball that's low, 2-1. Chad Bell came on in the 4th inning. Edwin sends a high fly ball center field. Martin making the catch. Geyer back to first, 1 down.
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are in town. That'll be tomorrow night, and for the weekend you want to grab a $15 district ticket. That is presented by Sports Time Ohio, or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket. And kids, you can run the bases after the ball game Sunday if we don't get too much rain. Come on out. Only time Toronto will be here this year.
Here's Yonder Alonso 0 for 3. Is grounded out twice, struck out once. Breaks his bat, base hit. He finally gets into the act. Cost him a bat. He doesn't care. Geyer all the way to third. Indians at the corners with 1 down.
You're right. He doesn't care if that bat is cracked and it goes as a base hit. You love it, and that handle's just sitting, you know, aside. That's split, man. Watch it explode. Chip came up, and the handle was sitting about 6 inches from where the barrel was after he dropped it. But it goes as a base hit. Geyer goes to third. Again, the Indians in scoring position, first and third, and just 1 out. 13 hits on the evening. 3 doubles, couple of home runs.
I don't think you're going to put that one back together.
No, put that in the fireplace. Gives him something to do over there, though.
Roberto Perez takes it outside. 1-1. Oh, getting a little fancy with the eye black there. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Look at that. Got some extra lines there by the eye.
Doesn't look like a cat.
Real.
I'm going to take a good guess. That was done by someone else to make fun of him. He did not do that on purpose.
Here's the 1-2. Swung out and missed. So Roberto retired, 2 away. And up comes Tyler Naquin. Hey, I want to send out special happy birthday wishes tonight to Barb Salvo in Paynesville, Ohio, celebrating her 70th birthday.
Happy birthday, Barb.
You'll always see her out there at the Indians outing over at Quail Hollow. She stands out there on one of the fairways. Probably tries to flag you down for a picture or an autograph.
That'll be in
coming up in June.
Is that right? Oh, they have the picnic table set up on. I'm trying to think of what hole it is. Let me think. I know which
it's a par 4.
Short par 4, dog leg right.
Yep.
I know where they sit. They offer you drinks and food when you're on the tee box.
I don't know about the food part. Here's a swing and miss, and it's 0-2.
It's just a friendly gesture.
If there's an olive in it, I guess that counts as food. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Sorry, not hungry today, but I am a bit thirsty.
Yeah, the Indians charity golf outing coming up this year in June.
Right.
Hope you'll make your plans to be out there with us this year. Always a great day. One ball and 2 strikes. Tyler Naquin has scored a couple of runs tonight.
Yes, he did.
He went around, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We head to the 7th, 9-1 Cleveland. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Yeah, the Indians having all the fun tonight. They scored early and often. And Trevor Bauer has held the Tigers in check. He's allowed 1 run on 4 hits. He has struck out 7 in 6 innings of work. He's back out here for the 7th inning. I was mentioning last inning that Andre Knott did a fantastic story on Trevor Bauer. He went out to the Driveline facility in Washington, just outside of Seattle, where Trevor does a lot of work. And you know, if you listen to the interview, in Trevor's own words, he said there's some nerdy stuff. What a play by Bradley Zimmer! All-out diving effort in right center field, and he pulls it in for out number 1.
Boy, he got a great jump on that ball and just outran it. And right at the end, he dives for it and makes a beautiful catch. I mean, he had to cover some distance, and that is a very good play right there.
He can go get him.
Yes, he can. He's going to be a treat to watch. Look at Bauer, loving every minute of it. Touchdown. He's in.
Whew. Top of the order now, and Leonis Martin, who has 2 hits on the night.
All right, again with your story.
I'm never going to get that. I might as well just stop while on my head, right? No, but what Trevor said is there's some, in his own words, there's some nerdy stuff going on there. They tinker, they analyze the spin rate and trying to improve, trying to be better. Not like he's trying to reinvent things necessarily, but he's just trying to take pitching and the training on how to become a better pitcher and elevate it and take it somewhere where baseball really never thought of before. And as he has more success, the hope is that ball right off of Leonis Martin's front foot. He's hoping that people will accept his ideas and not look at him like he's crazy.
Well, he's proven it that, I mean, for him, he has to do these certain things, and it's the way he goes about working out and getting himself ready.
The one big thing he said to me was that he wants Major League Baseball to trust the things that he's looking into. He wants to make the game better for everyone. And he says if we have information, why would we not use it? If we can, if we can find a way to use it and to help get better, let's all use it and figure it out.
Right. Well, you can say he's in on the ground floor. Let's put it that way.
Now the 1-1. Ooh, just missed. Andre, the one thing I loved when he said to you, all of the training methods that were in place for pitchers for so long were invented way before there was any science or technology to know if they really were effective or not.
And I think that's why sometimes early on some people didn't take a liking to how he said that. But it's true. He even talked about batting practice, and he said to me, he goes, I can't hit. He goes, but why wouldn't you go get a double weight pitcher, somebody that can throw 88, 90 miles an hour to get guys ready, rather than having somebody throw 45 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour to major league hitters to get them ready. He's thought everything out that he says.
There's a pop, shallow left, flying in. Geyer couldn't get to it.
He gets another hit.
He's got a 3-hit night.
Again, back-to-back 3-hit nights for Martin.
Well, Arch, take a look at some of the off-speed pitches from Bauer tonight.
Well, there's the curveball. Now, that curveball's a little bit slower, and it's a great pitch, but he's added this one. This is that another curveball?
Yeah.
Yes, it's another curveball. Here comes the slider. Now, this is the pitch he worked on. You can see it's a little different, but I think the grip is very similar to his curveball, and it's thrown a little bit harder than that. The curveball, and that's what he's looking for, is that spin rate you're talking about, and that's what the slider's like. With the guy we're going to see tomorrow night, Marcus Stroman, he looked at video and watched him pitch, who has, great spin rate on his pitches, whether it's a fastball or the slider and things like that. And like you say, he does his homework, he prepares, and you can't question him. It gets him ready.
Well, no, I don't think anybody, now that they've seen him in action too, nobody questions his commitment or the preparation and the time he puts into trying to be as good as he can be.
And speaking to that, with the slider out at drive line, they actually had guys that he put in the box. He pitched against guys, and I know if you've seen it on YouTube, he wanted to use it before he got to spring training. He goes, I had to see how hitters reacted to it. I wasn't going to go to spring training and embarrass myself with a new pitch.
Right.
0-2 hit in the air to right field. Naquin, easy play, 2 down. Hey, to your point though, Andre, and hey, diplomacy's not maybe his greatest asset, and so sometimes when Trevor says things, he says them so abruptly that maybe people kind of back up. They don't.
Right.
But hey.
Well, when he was talking to Andre today before the game, it was like going to a class.
Right.
I mean, I had a tough time following him.
You're a young man, though. I know that. But I think we all have that issue with him at first. He says things and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Slow down. Let's go one at a time here. Swung on and missed. Cabrera 0 for 2 tonight. Walked his last time up.
But for him, he walks into the room with the pitchers, and Carlos Carrasco and other guys, Clevenger, they've started picking up on what he's doing, and that to him is all that matters, that these guys respect him.
Yeah. The acceptance, as I said before, that people don't look at him like he's way out there, that what he says and the things that he's doing, there's a method to all of it. Right now he's looking to retire Miguel Cabrera. The 0-2 pitch.
How about that pick right there? 12-0-2, 1-2 counts for Bauer tonight.
This one didn't feel good, though.
No, this is a slider. He really tried to throw it so hard, and it sort of just took a bounce and caught him on the arm.
Nice pick by Perez again. 2-2. He's at 100 pitches, and guess what? 70% strikes.
Well, we've seen it
That's
3
three
times.
in a row, isn't it?
Well, Kluber did it, and Carrasco did it last night, and now Bauer's doing it here again tonight. They're doing it when they get a lot of outs with 3 pitches or less. They pound the strike zone, and I'm telling you, it's contagious here. It's unbelievable.
Oh, just by Alonso, who almost stole a hit away from Cabrera. On his way to third goes Martin.
I don't know how many more guys can steal hits from Cabrera in this series. He could have 4 or 5 hits. And that one gets under the glove, but boy, he threw some fastballs by him away. But this time, look at Miggy's waiting for it. That one was elevated 95. That's his bread and butter right there. He gets a ball away, a little bit elevated. He could take it that way. That's like Joe Mauer going to left field as a left-hander. Boom, just serving it that way. Only Miggy can do it with a little more authority.
Coming on to run is Nico Goodrum. Bauer trying to hold the Tigers at bay here. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Now a 1-0. Slow curveball, base hit in the left center field, and scoring is Martin to make it 9-2, and that's going to end this incredible streak in which the Indians had given up 1 run or less in 5 straight games.
It's coming on the curveball, and he left it upstairs, and Castellanos took advantage of it. He's thrown a lot of curveballs tonight.
Carl Willis going to go out. That ends the streak that ties the franchise record. No Indians team had ever done it in 6 straight games. They did it in 1904, 1909, 1951, 1956, and now here in 2018, another streak of 5 straight games. Thought maybe they had a chance to set the all-time mark with a 6 in a row, but Nick Castellanos spoils that with his 2nd RBI of the game. And then Bauer will stay on to face Victor Martinez. Nick Goody just about ready if needed in the bullpen now. Rare hit for the Tigers with a runner in scoring position. Only their 3rd in 24 at bats.
Yeah,
in this 4-game series.
That's one thing that the pitchers have really been stingy as far as base hits go with runners in scoring position.
Bouncing ball. Eric Gonzalez from the outfield grass will throw out Victor, and the inning is over. Stretch time in Cleveland. Indians 9, Tigers 2. Look, that great catch he made.
Yeah, he covered 66 feet, and I'll tell you what, top speed over 20 miles an hour. Man, he had a great jump. I had a great angle of it. He just outruns the baseball, catches up to it, and catches it on the dive. Beautiful play.
Swings and fouls it out of play. He's had a good approach at the plate tonight, too, staying inside the ball, using the other side of the field.
Well, and this guy, Bell, that they've called up, he's doing his job right now, putting zeros on the board, isn't he? Coming in,
and he's
for his,
eating up some innings for them.
Yeah, and someone, like I was going to say, when they score early like they did off Michael Fulmer, someone's going to have to wear it and give some innings. But he's done a nice job tonight. He's pitched around some trouble. They've had opportunities, it seems like, almost every inning. They've had 1, 2, 3 inning. That was the third. And other than that, they've had a boatload of base runners. 13 hits, 9 runs. And the Tigers' defense was a little sloppy tonight. They've made 3 errors. Look at that.
And a line drive base hit in the left field.
Oh, that stroke is there. 3 straight times going the other way. Nothing wrong with that one. 3 straight singles, and all of them have been pretty much the same sighting right here. Short to the baseball, and there you go. Take it the other way. 3 line drives to left center. So Bradley with a 3-hit game.
Top of the order, Francisco Lindor. Homered, doubled. He's driven in 3. He has scored 3 times. Chopped to short. Iglesias will take it himself. And he gets rid of it in a hurry to turn the double play. Time to take a look at our hold true moment.
Well, you could tell right out of the chute, the Indians were swinging the bat. I mean, there were loud explosions of a very good pitcher, Michael Fulmer. And they were hitting the ball all over the ballpark, finding the holes, and you can tell they feel good about themselves tonight, and rightfully so.
Eric Gonzalez gets his first at bat of the evening. Just the 6th at bat for Eric Gonzalez on the year. Foul back. You mentioned Chad Bell eating up some innings for Detroit. They go home and open a 3-game series against the Yankees tomorrow. Then they've got Baltimore coming in. Then Kansas City comes in, and they've got a doubleheader already with the Royals.
Right.
The 1-2.
It'll be the Royals' second trip to Detroit already.
Yeah, they were there.
Yeah, I know it. They were. That's why they have to make it up.
Year. Yeah, how weird is that though when you think about it, Arch? Detroit will have a home and home with the Pirates and a home and home with the Royals and a home and home with Baltimore all in this first month of the season.
Strange. Very strange.
Chop to second. Machado throws him out. 7 in the books. Indians 9, Tigers 2.
For the 4-game sweep of Detroit and their 5th straight win tonight. Welcome back to center field. He's Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski. Join us after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Jensen, do you think anybody is still concerned about the offense?
Well, our biggest key was hunting the fastball from the left-handed hitters against Michael Fulmer. They were hitting almost 400. Well, the Indians made them pay tonight.
Fastballs were hunted tonight by Tri-Bass.
We got highlights on those too.
All right, again, make sure you join us after the game for Indians Live. Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care, your sponsor. Back upstairs we go. Matt and Rick, take it away.
All right, thanks, Al. Nick Goody will come on for the Indians now and pitch here in the 8th inning. Trevor Bauer went 7, 2 runs, 7 hits, walked 2, struck out 7. Goody, for the 5th time this year, will face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Detroit. In addition, Bauer recorded 13 outs tonight on 3 pitches or less. And I think that's such a huge key for him.
Going deep into the game.
To get deeper into games.
He did a great job against Kansas City that same way. And we have witnessed the top 3 starters for the Indians and the 100 pitches in their turn through the rotation here. Kluber, Carrasco, Bauer at the 100 pitch mark. All of them had 70 strikes.
Yeah. Yep. And Josh Tomlin, not to be left out of the group. He went 5 innings but pitched shutout baseball. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Toronto comes in tomorrow. Right field. Naquin trying to cut it off, can't. Goes to the wall, and John Hicks has his first hit.
Well, Trevor Bauer again, the 2-seam fastball, the curveball, the slider. I didn't see any changeups, or at least I don't recall seeing many. He was basically curveball, slider, heavy, and then used that fastball at times too very well. So another good start for Trevor. 7 hits in his 7 innings. A couple of runs, couple of walks, and 7 strikeouts. 3 straight games he's had 7 apiece.
Jacoby Jones walked in the 2nd, reached on an error and struck out so far tonight. Chop to 3rd. Ramirez takes his time, makes a perfect throw. It's April in the OHIO when the Blue Jays head to town for a weekend series starting tomorrow night. Mike Clevenger facing Marcus Stroman. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 6:30. First pitch 7:10 right here on the home of the Indians, Sportstime, Ohio, or you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. April in the OHIO presented by Menards. Got to bring up Jose Iglesias, who is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. Indians began the night. Their starting pitchers leading the majors in innings pitched. Trevor Bauer adding 7 more to that, so 84 1/3 innings worked by the starters. Starters were averaging 6 1/3 per start, so that number stays intact, and the ERA was 2.79, second best in the big leagues. So the starting pitching has really been a huge key. They haven't had to really lean on the bullpen, but you know, at some point, they'll have to pick up some of the slack.
Sure, they will. Tell you what, the starting pitching's carried this ball club for the first part of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you're throwing out the numbers on what they've done offensively. They've been horrendous up until the last 2 days, and they're starting to pick it back up. And you know, they're winning games even when they weren't scoring. So that was a huge lift for this ball club. You see the group of them all sitting there talking. Every one of the starters. Those are the 4 starters and Jan Combs, the catcher. How about that?
Nick Goody with the 2-1. And a ground ball to second. Gonzalez corralled it but couldn't come up with it cleanly.
Yeah, it ate him up right there on the backhanded side.
So first and third with 1 out. And I think that'll be an error.
It is. It's an error. You know, that it's that backhand, and that's okay to go to the backhanded side, but it just hit him off the glove. He couldn't get it cleanly in there. And, you know, he hasn't been out there in game action, so you almost not an easy play. But it'll be the second error for the Indians tonight. They only had 2 all year long. They've got 2 tonight. 5 errors in the game by both teams.
Dixon Machado 0 for 3. Steps to the plate. One of the big question marks for the Indians heading into the year was how to replace the innings in the bullpen left by the departure of Brian Shaw.
Well, that's the guy in the bullpen. Can you guys figure out who that is that he's doing? Oh, he's something else. He knows you guys are talking bullpen. That was his Cody Allen. That's Cookie doing Cody Allen when he winds up.
My contention, Andre, is I think how they suck up some of those innings.
Yes.
Because, you know, everybody, Tito said, look, you don't replace Brian Shaw with 1 guy in a bullpen because he was almost superhuman in that he could pitch every single day practically. But I think, Arch and Andre, if the starters can go on average, say just a third of an inning more, all of a sudden some of that weight comes off the bullpen, and maybe it's the starters that extend just a little bit.
Well, you said that a few weeks ago when the season started, and I think the starters, and just talking to them, they realize that they can help with the Brian Shaw situation just as much as anyone else.
To left field, that's going to stay fair. It's going to get a run home as Hicks scores, and Iglesias goes to third. Into second with an RBI double is Dixon Machado.
And the other thing that can play into that, and Tito has said this, is that without a Brian Shaw, you can mix and match a little bit more with guys in the bullpen, especially if you can get 6 to 7 innings out of the starter, where you don't have to put a guy in for a whole inning. You can have Goody for an inning, or for, you know, an inning and a third, and McAllister against certain guys. That's how he's going to play it for the first half of the season, really.
Well, yeah, if your starters can go 7, 6 or 7. But now they're going to hit they're where you're going to need your bullpen to pick up the starters, because, you know, it's a long year. So, you know, it's going to take a while to figure that bullpen out, I think, for Tito, and
because he's giving certain people opportunities, and it's up to them to see what they do with it. Ramirez can't get to it. It bounces on that rolled up tarp. You know, everybody's getting an opportunity. Dan Otero, Zach McAllister, Matt Belisle, Nick Goody, Tyler Olson. They're all going to get more opportunities than they would have had, obviously, when Brian Shaw was there. And I think it's almost like regular position players, you go with the guy that hits. If you get outs, you're going to get more opportunities.
What did we say when we were in California with Charlie Nagy working with his bullpen? You know, you get outs, you'll move to the back end.
Right.
It's the same thing here. It's no different with any team. You get outs, you're going to be you're forcing people to put you, you know, in more important roles.
Mm-hmm. Well, McAllister's got the first shot to be one of the first guys out, and that's why he's been working on that breaking ball. And they wanted him. They want him to throw it. They want him to throw it because they know the fastball plays along with it, and he knows this is an opportunity for him to take.
He's been working at it for quite a while.
I know.
You know, because when he came up, he was basically a one-pitch pitcher. But now he's, you know, the last couple of years, he's been able to throw it first pitch, or when he's behind in the count every once in a while to throw it when guys are looking for fastballs. So, yeah.
Nick Goody's got 2 on, 1 out. And Leonis Martin bloops one, shallow right. Coming in is Naquin, makes the catch, and the runners have to hold. 2 down.
The hitter now for Detroit. Third baseman.
Jamer Candelario 0 for 4 on the night. Will bat with Second and third and 2 down. You know, bullpens are also subject to the overreaction theory of the first month of the season too, because the guys get off to a slow start. You know, everybody's quick to say, "Oh, that guy's, you know, look at his ERA and all that," because you know you have a couple of bad outings early. It takes half the season to get that ERA down. Remember a year ago, Nick Goody, little by little, ended up working his way into more important situations.
Well, and that's the work that Tito does on putting these guys into games, protecting them throughout the course of the year until they get a little confidence as it goes on. How about Tyler Olson, where he came back? I mean, we watched him do the same thing, but Tito, he knows how to use a bullpen as well as anybody. I mean, him, Buck Showalter, and let me think who else over in San Francisco.
Bruce Bochy.
Those guys are wizards when it comes to bullpens. They know what they're doing. And that's why it takes a while. I mean, they'll figure it out. They just got to have the guys, and you know, and that's why they like veterans. They like track records, so they can trust guys, and they know they're not going to put them in spots where they're going to fail. They try to put them in spots where they're going to succeed.
Just say it. Analytics play into it as well. It's just like what Goody's good with the slider. They put him against guys that don't hit the slider well. Guys that throw hard, guys that don't hit the fastball well, they use McAllister. That's how they've used the numbers over the last few years to be successful.
The 1-2, fouled right back. Yeah, I mean, that's why people do all that research and they have the matchups, but it still comes down to being able to execute between the lines. The 1-2. And there is probably something to be said for the ability of a relief pitcher who can pitch 3 days in a row, 4 out of 6 days, and be consistently good with that stuff to where those numbers all still mean something. I mean, it might be one thing to call on a guy and say, oh, his slider's really good or his fastball is this day one. But then what about back-to-back days? What about when it's 3 out of 4 days?
A lot of things come into play.
The guys who can go out and give you 60 to 70 appearances a year, that's why they're getting paid so much money
you can
now.
Count on them. And even though they go out and they get beat a couple of times, because Brian Shaw, people, they abused him here when he did give it up. And he gave it up, you know, a few times, but he would never refuse the ball. He would still go out there.
The 1-2. Up high.
You know, that's why. That's what made him so good. I mean, people, I think a lot of people and fans disliked him at times. But I'll tell you what, you know, he didn't get as much credit when he would go out there day after day after day and do it. But you know what, your teammates, your manager, your coaches, and your front office, they understand it.
His checkbook got a lot of credit.
Well, and you know what, he's one of the guys that might be able to go out in Colorado and pitch in that light air, but he doesn't care. You know, he's got that mentality, I think, to maybe do that. But he earned himself some money, and I can see why. Indians couldn't afford to pay him $9 million a year for 3 years when you're already paying your 2 back-end guys anyway, Miller and Allen.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford, you know, Shaw there anyway. So someone's got to step up. That's the nature of the game. You can't pay everybody.
3-2 pitch, fouled into the Detroit dugout.
Goody, he's having a tough inning here to try and get his way through it. 26 pitches.
to left field. Geyer back, shy of the track, pulls it down. Tigers get a run. We'll go to the last half of the 8th. 9-3 Cleveland. Dealers, a couple of 25-year-old starters on the rise. Bauer pitched well. Fulmer was treated poorly by the Indians tonight. They touched him for 6 runs on 8 hits. Jose Ramirez has had a good series, getting himself going. And this was a big part of tonight's game and the series. Jose Ramirez, a high drive to deep right field.
That had the hang time of a Ray Guy punt.
Atta boy, I knew you were going. Atta baby. Joe Jimenez is the 3rd Tigers pitcher of the night. Chad Bell gave him 4 innings out of the bullpen. Just called up today. Now the 1-1. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Another hang time.
Down the line, but that's going to be in the seats.
Nick Castellanos, he's been a busy guy running all over that outfield tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, they've run him
pillar
ragged. To post.
Yes, they sure have. He's having fun, though.
Indians trying to run their win streak to 11 in a row against the Tigers. They've won 14 of the last 15 overall. Foul back. Even just going back the last few years, there have been a lot of streaks in this series too, where the Tigers would win maybe 6 in a row and then the Indians would turn around and win 8 straight. We've seen both teams get on a roll against each other. It'll be tough for this Tigers edition to do that. It's a young team in a lot of areas.
Yes, sir. They're growing. They're rebuilding.
The 3-2. And popped it up. This one is down the line, slicing, reaching in. Did he make the catch?
Yes, he did.
What a play by Jacoby Jones. That's a heck of an effort.
Yeah, he got over.
Refused to give up on it. And I think the wind may have kept it playable for him.
I know. He got over there in a hurry. He got to the railing first where he could get over there and reach in. The fans didn't interfere, but he gets over there. Nice job. Hangs on.
Yep.
Had to buy a ticket for that seat, but shows he's got the ball.
Geyer pops it up. Back of the plate. Hicks to the screen. No. Thought maybe Ditka was going to get up and throw a cross-body block.
He's down
on
there.
Jacoby Jones.
No,
on
it's
that
his
play.
birthday. He's off. There he is. He says, I'm not going to do that. Game at hand.
It's going to be some party tonight when this one's over, though. Andre, let us know where that's at, by the way. Because I know you're invited.
Yes, he is. We haven't received our invitation yet.
Brandon Geyer's first at bat tonight. Michael Brantley was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and a run batted in. Swung on and missed. The last run the Indians scored was back in the 4th inning when Brantley was at the plate. He popped one up, foul ground. The third baseman Candelario had an easy catch of the pop-up in foul ground. He dropped it. Brantley got another chance, smoked a line drive to right field that plated Francisco Lindor, and that made it 9-1. Geyer grounds one towards right field, cut off by Machado, and he makes a dynamite play.
Yes,
2
he
down.
did. Nice play again.
Well, Francisco Lindor with a big night at the top of the order. Jason Kipnis with 3 hits, and including a 2-run knock back in that 4th inning. Ramirez had the homer. Brantley with a couple of doubles.
Some crooked numbers on the scoreboard, and that's what you're looking for.
Bradley Zimmer down there at the bottom with 3 singles and a run scored. Here's Rajay Davis batting for Edwin. Nice too for Tito on a night like this where the weather finally breaks and guys feel like regular human beings for a change playing baseball. You can get everybody involved.
Right. Exactly. You notice everyone is getting a chance tonight. Well, it's just that cold weather. Glad to see it break, at least for a few days if we get it here, you know, with Toronto coming in. Awfully nice, because, you know, these guys certainly, it's no fun playing in bad weather, and a lot of baseball was played in bad weather by almost every team.
The 0-2. Raj shoots one back up the gut, and that's into center field. He's got a base hit. And what a night for the Indians offense. 15 hits.
This is coming right back at you. It's a breaking ball, and it goes right off almost his back foot as it gets into center field. 5 of those 15 hits, extra bases, 10 singles, 3 doubles, couple of homers.
Yonder Alonso 1 for 4 tonight. He singled his last time up. Pops it up left field. Jacoby Jones will make the catch. 9-3 Tribe as we head to the ninth. And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. We go to the ninth inning. And the Indians will send Matt Belisle to the mound. Third appearance. He hasn't pitched. You know, Nick Goody hadn't pitched in 6 days. Belisle hasn't pitched since April 3rd when the Indians were out in Anaheim. But again, as we said, perfect game to get all your bench guys involved, get the guys in the bullpen who haven't had a chance to get some work because starters have been eating up so many innings. Out of play. Out of play again. Matt Belisle with 12 years of big league service time. Broke in back in 03 with the Cincinnati Reds. Up the gut. Lindor cuts it off and throws him out, 1 down. Belisle also spent several years with Colorado. 7 years with the Rockies. And then he spent 2015 with the Cardinals, 16 with the Nationals, last year with the Twins, and now here with the Indians. Yeah, it's weird because, you know, service time is calculated by days.
Yeah, 172 days, I think, consists of 1 year.
Like in the big leagues.
Yeah.
But when you count up and down and all that, I mean, he's been pitched in parts of 15 major league seasons.
Yeah, he was a late addition to that bullpen this year in spring training. You know, didn't know they couldn't really offer him and say, hey, you know, we may have a spot for you. He had to come in and make this ball club out of spring training. And, you know, Tito told him the truth. And by the time he came in, he did. Now, we'll see how much he's going to be used. But he's a veteran guy.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing, too, Rick, is, as you said, they're not going to lean on him necessarily. But the experience that he has might be able to help some of those younger guys too that are going through it. Not necessarily for the first time, but down the line, right field. Naquin makes the catch. 2 down. Because I was going to say, Arch, back in 2012 with Colorado, Matt Blyle's a guy who pitched in 80 games that year.
How about that?
You're talking
every
other day.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's probably one reason why he is here. He's been through it. He knows it. He'll accept a role, and
even last year, remember what a great job he did for Minnesota with their bullpen in flux. And he
sure was
in
in flux too after they traded their closer Kinsler to Washington.
He gave him 9 saves last year down the stretch. Here's Victor Martinez now taking outside, ball 1. Victor singled in the second. He's flied out, struck out, grounded out since then. 12,901 the attendance here tonight. And hopefully with the weather heating up, Tribe playing well. Tomorrow being Friday night, Blue Jays coming to town. Hopefully see a big crowd here for the weekend. Smash to Lindor on 1 hop. He snares it and throws him out to end the ball game. That's pretty fitting the way Lindor has played in this series, especially from the defensive side of things. But tonight, going back to last night, he's starting to pick it up offensively now.
I'll tell you what, he made some really nice plays. That ball was smoked too, and he's able to put a glove on it. And they have a 1-2-3 inning. So, you know, again, the offense very good. Bauer, another good start. It was nice to see. They came out early. They played probably, I think, their best overall game of the year tonight here. You know, and it was to close out a 4-game series. You talk about offensively, right out of the chute they scored. Bauer pitching, he gives them 7 strong innings, and they played great defense, even though they did make 2 errors.
Tigers made 3, so defensively there were definitely some odd plays that weren't made that you thought should have been. But in the end, I would agree with you. This was, from a complete standpoint, their best overall game because the offense really swung the bats well. Bauer did his thing. Bullpen finishes it off, and the Indians complete a 4-game sweep of the Tigers to run their win streak to 5 in a row on the year. They're now 8-5. Detroit falls to 4-8. Back with the final numbers and some final thoughts right after this.